So it's 2023 and we are all trying to better ourselves in this year. And in this video, I want to go through 10 really small habits that you can implement right now, today, that are going to drastically change your life and especially change your 2023 and beyond. With that said, if you don't know me already, my name's Connor and I have been an entrepreneur in this space for around 5 years now. I have a successful YouTube channel in the crypto niche and I am continually trying to grow in this space and grow as a person. And that's what this channel right here is dedicated to: self-improvement, growing personal brands, and becoming richer than you could ever imagine. That is everything that I'm setting out to do on this channel. So smash up that subscribe button and let's jump straight into it. My very first habit that I would change right now is less talking and more doing. And what I mean by this is stop talking about the things that you want to do and just do them. I have this conversation so often with people when they're talking about starting their social media presence, right? Whether it's Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever the platform is, we talk about this all the time. They say, well, I want to start this channel based around XYZ, right? But I need to do XYZ before I get there. And what I always say is you need to start immediately, because the first, let's say, year of making content on YouTube, it's going to be absolutely rubbish. The edits are going to be rubbish. You're going to be rubbish in front of the camera, but that's not the point. You need the time to grow. So by starting immediately, not worrying about the quality of the videos, not worrying too much about anything apart from doing, it's going to drastically change it. And by the time you get to where you would have started it anyway, you're going to be significantly better than if you had have waited. So that would be my first habit: stop talking and start doing. The next habit, and something that I always try and implement, if it takes less than 5 minutes, just do it. Do it, right? Just do it right now. If there's something you've been putting off all day, just do it immediately if it takes less than 5 minutes. The reason why I do this is because you may be thinking about it all day, which actually leads you to way more procrastination, which stops you from doing anything at all. So you can do this by starting your day like this in the middle of the day, or just setting out time to do it, but get it done as quickly as you possibly can without putting it off. When you find yourself in that mode of putting things off again, putting off that little thing that you need to get done, that niggling thing in your head, just get it done, out of the way. It clears your head and you can get on with your daily tasks. The next habit is something that's really helped me recently, and this could be either logging out of your social media accounts, hiring a manager for those social media accounts, or simply putting on a time limit onto those accounts. I personally have a manager who manages my different social media accounts, which means I go on them much less than I would if I was managing them myself. But if that's not a situation that you're in right now where you can afford that sort of thing, what you can do is set yourself limits or just delete the ones that you don't use. If you don't use TikTok to gather information and knowledge to create something, just get rid of it, because all it's doing is wasting your time, right? I spent way too long on TikTok and my excuse would be to go on to find content to create, but then I'll just end up scrolling. What I did was add a 15-minute timer to TikTok, to Instagram, Facebook, all of my social media apps. And when it catches me out being on there for more than 15 minutes, it will basically come up and lock the app. So that's what I would suggest to do. One of those 3 options, or all of them. Now, my next habit would be eliminating as many decisions as possible. For example, I wear a black t-shirt pretty much every day because I know that's what I'm going to wear. Then I don't need to fret about it. I don't need to think about it. I can chuck on my black t-shirt and get straight to work, whether or not that's going to the gym or sitting down at this desk and creating content or building a business plan, whatever it is. It's one less decision that I need to make. So we can build this habit in so many different things in our lives, and it just makes things way easier and way less muddled in our heads. Now, habit number 5, and something that I actually made a short form video about, and I got lots of mixed responses, and that is be on time. And the way I said it was, if someone is driving you somewhere in your car, make sure that you are the one waiting for them, not them waiting for you. This pisses me off beyond belief when you're taking someone and they also make you wait. I absolutely hate that. And not only does it make people perceive you in a certain way, it's just a bad way to build your life, right? You always want to be on time. If you are building your own business, you don't want to be late to meetings. If you are building anything, you want to do everything on time. And it's something that I would highly suggest starting to implement as soon as possible. Now, the next habit is something that's really helped me over the last few years, and it's creating a schedule and trying to stick to that as much as possible. Now, the best schedule schedule for me always revolves around going to bed early, waking up as early as possible, getting some sort of exercise done before I start work, and then working, and then having time in the middle of the day where I take a break and then working again. So I normally work in 2 or 3 chunks throughout the day, depending on how much I have to get done. And I fill the breaks in with eating, with training, or just trying to go outside, go for a swim. Recently, I've been doing things like cold plunges and working out as much as possible. Setting up a schedule, going to bed at the same time every day and getting up at the same time will really set you up to have enough time throughout the day to achieve all of the things that you want to achieve. Now, the next habit may seem very obvious, but it's starting to learn how to say no. Now, when you're invited somewhere and you want to go and it's something that you really want to do, then of course, don't say no to that. But it's learning to say no and to set boundaries for certain things. If it's a weekday and you want to get up early to hit the gym or go for a run in the morning, but someone wants you to go out and have drinks, you can learn to say no, and people will continue to respect you because of that. And if they don't, they're probably not the kind of people that you want to be hanging out with or associating with anyway, because they don't respect what your goals are. And that moves me on to habit number 8, which would be deleting and unfollowing people who don't help you in your journey that you're on right now. It's important to not associate with people who will derail you from what you're trying to do here. Now, I'm not saying go and delete all of your friends off your social media or anything like that, but there will be specific people right now that are popping into your mind that you know distract you. Now, these could be people you don't even know that you just follow on social media that lead you down the rabbit hole of things that you don't want to be doing because you want to be focusing on being productive. So get onto your Instagram, go through your follow list and just unfollow people who are not on the same page as you, who distract you. And that will help you a lot when you do pick up those social media apps to not go down those rabbit holes that just waste our time and are a distraction to what we really want to be doing. Now, habit number 9 is something that I've been doing basically for my whole life, but tracking the amount of money you spend, tracking it. You can do it simply in your head if that's something you're good at, or just write it down so you can get a handle on where you're spending the most amount of money and what you can cut back on in order to keep that money so you can invest it in yourself. And I think this is a huge thing. People go out a lot, but they don't think about the amount of money they're spending each time. They don't add it all up. They don't realize the amount of money that they're losing. Now, I'm not saying that you need to stop going out, you need to stop hanging out with your friends, any of that. You just need to figure out where the most liabilities are and see how you can fix them without jeopardizing your fun or downtime. Something that I personally used to do was simply drinking more before I went out, and in that way I wouldn't spend too much money when I was out. And these small changes can make a huge impact on the amount of money that you can save. Also, on that same habit, try to eliminate impulse purchases. And what I mean by that is when you're out, you see something you like and you just buy it. And I'm sure you've all been through this, but a few days later, you're like, I really don't need that. So the best way that I've found is when I really want something, I see it, I remember it, and after about 3 or 4 days, if I still want it then I'll get it for myself. And that's a really easy way to realize that it's an impulse purchase rather than something that you actually need. And the last habit that I would suggest everyone get in the habit of doing is asking as many questions as possible. When you're in a situation where you can learn from someone, whether it's a social situation, a networking event, anything, ask as many questions as you possibly can. Try and even get out. Try and say as least about you as possible and find out from the people that you're talking about anything. If someone's in the world of finance, ask them how they made money. Ask them how they got their job. Ask them anything you can think of. If they're a sportsman, ask them how they got there, how often they train. You can use all this information and apply it to your own business. And the more successful people you speak to, the more pieces of the puzzle that you'll get. You can place them together and you'll be able to create something of your own way faster. And that also fits in to having mentors in your life. Now, this is something that I've struggled to find myself. People always talk about having mentors, but it's very hard to find. But if you don't want to pay for one, finding peers in a same space than you that are just a few steps ahead really does help. This helped me a lot on my journey on YouTube and within the crypto space, just finding friends that were just 1 or 2 steps ahead of me that could help me along the way. And that way we could help each other along the way. And it was less of a taking relationship and more of a giving and taking. So hopefully all of that helps you in the goals that you want to achieve in 2023. If they do, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving me a comment down there in the comment section of what I maybe missed out on, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.